I think that maybe they've only played it like once in an official since the change happened to the mid. So I don't know.
Well, we will find out the answers to those questions, thus, because we are finally live, and Endpoint actually looking to stack up towards the B side of the map. There's going to be 2 players down here. Cressy up close with his USP. Going to be joined just ahead of him with Stefan. And this is the game where all the chips are on the table. Both teams jockeying for that #1 seed spot. Lots of damage inflicted. No one has fallen just yet. Cressy's about to get swarmed, and he's completely alone.
Yeah, he's been dealt with rather quickly there by Endpoint as they continue to hammer away at this B bomb site. Another headshot breaks out onto Stefan. That's a P that's not going to work out there for Mirabit either, as it is looking like Endpoint are just going to have full reign of this B site. We do see Slacks fighting back a bit. 1 headshot to its name thus far, but still so much work left to do.
Some of those entry pistols were pretty exceptional. And now Skrunk 1v4 does at least have the first kill going his way. There is a kit just ahead of him and a smoke. So he's going to be smoking down. I'm not really sure what the point of that smoke was. I mean, maybe so he can pick up a secondary one and pick up the kit. That's what he's going to do. And he's going to try and save. And that's what I thought he was originally going to go for. So
Bro, when I see these gloves, I just think of Skrunk as some type of dominatrix.
I mean, maybe he is.
Could be.
If we get him into an interview, that can be your first question.
Maybe not.
Maybe we don't drop that question.
Maybe we leave that one out. But convincing round from Endpoint nonetheless. I mean, didn't really have any trouble getting that one. Lost 2 players along the way. Able to get those upgrades rolling.
Yeah, interesting. It's just going to be the 1 player on A, so that maybe gives you an idea as to what to expect going forward with the meta of Vertigo. Before you'd be stacking almost everybody A, to be honest, especially in rounds like this.
Right.
Maybe it's getting a lot of info, though. He's actually pushed straight up middle. Maybe get round the back of them with that CZ.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when the Vertigo changes happened. I want to say it was like mid-April. So again, I don't think these teams have really played maybe more than like 1 official match on the new version of the map. Maybe none for aTTaX. Can't remember exactly the date it changed. But they've had practice though. If you allow it to come through in a best of 1, you must feel comfortable with it. Have plenty of chances to ban it.
Maybe showing his hands. Kind of unfortunate that they were just starting to move back again towards the spawn, so he got caught in a very awkward position. He was hoping to catch them in the back when they were effectively trying to set up for a play so we can get multiple frags. Slacks on the newly added B platform ramp, just having a peer down with his Deagle, and Endpoint, who have pretty much done the all-around the world strat here on Vertigo. They started off on B, and now they've gone back to A again. Yep. There is a slight gap in that smoke they're going to try and execute off with Surreal, but he's not being able to really spot any heads bobbing or weaving, and now the rotation is coming in through the CTs. Flashbang up and over. The T's now going to start to push their will and impose it onto the site. 1-for-1 trade. 5-7 does come out from alternate, but everything else is going the way of the T's. It's going to be a post-plant, and it's very unlikely that Slacks can do a great deal with his Deagle from this point. Maybe he can get a kill or 2, but the round is going to go the way of Endpoint.
Yeah, pretty convincing stuff there. Not a whole lot aTTaX could do about that. Just upgraded pistols mostly. And now this will be probably roughly the same venture, if not even worse. They probably will take more of a save. So Endpoint should be able to jump up to 3-0 with not too much trouble doing so.
This is more like the tactic that you see many a time of all-out A push, but they haven't completely committed behind it because they know that alternate are going to be onto some pistols. You don't want to run into a trap.
Who's going to happen here, Vince? And that hasn't done anything, has it?
It's a nice try. I mean, they got Crucial down to 18, but yeah, I mean, it's, in terms of winning the round, that definitely won't hit Chief.
Even though that wall is less spammable because it's been turned to metal, it still definitely can get some kills through it, as we saw there. The site's now being taken. All the CTs are in place, but they are not going to stop this bomb plan, that's for sure, and don't really have the firepower to fight back. So this, again, as we thought, should be a 3rd round for Endpoint. Trying to, again, maintain that #1 seed. One playoffs. Another clean victory, Vince. They've only lost 2 players so far in 3 rounds played.
And that was a really good effort as well from alternate attacks. They didn't get any kills, but they got Robin down low. I think they got Crucial down low as well. And considering that they all had rifles, if they had to rebuy 2, that's actually quite a significant round. So well played for Endpoint, making sure they don't concede anything. But here we go. This is the main course now. How do alternate do now that they have a solid buy behind them?
Yeah, Mighty Max putting some smokes out from spawn that land towards A side, I think. Look at that. Up there so fast, Vince. This is wild.
Yeah, a real change of pace from the Inferno games that we saw before, where Endpoint were much more methodical, much more chill. Like sometimes they did push up arches, maybe took early B control, but there's a lot of confidence that's coursing through their veins right now. You heard Mighty Max admit that they did make a lot of mistakes in that first half. So maybe that was the wake-up call they needed, and now they're just going to rinse through alternate 4-0 start already, and they're just looking to save these weapons. And it's as you said, I mean, minimal casualties. This has been a breeze so far.
Absolutely has been. We're going to see alternate just have to save these 3 weapons over at the B-bomb site. Another round where Endpoint, when it's so clean, 2 rounds in a row, it'll be flawless. And then the round before that, they survive with 4. So they are starting to really build up that economy nicely. They're loving it, Vince.
Oh yeah, they're going to be very happy with this start. They don't have to trade up any guns. Their economy is just booming right now. Like they can keep the girl, they can keep the M4. Everybody's over $5,000 comfortably.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you're alternate right now, you know that there's no easy rounds coming up for the next 2 or 3. Like whatever happens, you're going to be against buys.
Sure. This time we're going to see them kind of gear up a little bit more towards middle this time around, which again, I figured that we would see a lot more mid-action given that there is a route to B now added to it. And it's actually kind of hard for CTs to hold B. They have to kind of just play back from these doorways that you see Mirabit fall back to, as well as maybe just play from the B ramp itself. And here it is, mid-control being taken by Endpoint. Little trouble doing so. Smokes are out. And blocking those doorways off to have access to that new B ramp.
That Molotov behind the ramp, though, isn't actually going to deal with me a bit, and he's going to be able to try and capitalize on that. The bomb is down in an awkward position. Stefan needs to hold the line, and he gets an extra kill. That's huge. 2v2, but the bomb is down.
Uh-oh. Big kill. Thomas at least still has bomb possession, so he could get a plant here, but the 1v2 is going to be tough because he's just not really sure where they're going to be coming from. There's a lot of time left for them to maneuver around the map, and got to be careful here.
Bomb plant keeps them financially very, very much stable, but can Thomas take a player down with him and potentially even clutch this round? No, he can't. Well played from Cressy, who has been considerably dangerous throughout today's proceedings, and indeed last week of Group A. That is the first time that alternate will strike gold on Vertigo. But you can see the money for Endpoint is just so good right now. Even after the buy, it's going to be solid.
Yeah, they're just rock solid, Vince. I'll take that no further. As we are going to see round number 6 commence here. Endpoint, let's see if they get back to winning ways or whether or not aTTaX can start building something. That was a very well-handled B-split there from aTTaX. It's been very, very troublesome indeed, but they've swam through it. I think it was just that big kill they got at ladder room was the main one.
Well, Skrunk somehow managing to miss every single bullet through that smoke. Like, it seemed as though Endpoint were just dodging him. Very unfortunate from his perspective. Of course, there's no way of knowing that. So quite a small amount of damage put across to Thomas. Molotov down behind the sandbags, just trying to systematically take some ramp control.
Yeah, they actually pushed that little catwalk as well. As Surreal's trying to put a little bit of pressure over here on the B side of the map. But again, with Sprunk holding this position at the little catwalk, it's going to be tough. They don't check this. They just all come up ramps. So they could easily get blitzed. Have to be very careful. Sprunk could just get a sick timing on them.
Molotov is going to force him out into the open, so it's at least a 1-for-1 trade.
Right.
You can see it fully committed behind that. Now smoke's going to be deployed. Robin is waiting. Grenades put over. Not going to do anything because no one's actually behind that side. They're playing up more close. They flash in, but Cressy has been put down instantly. He gets the information his team were looking for, but it's not worth the cost of his life.
Not at all. The bomb is going to get planted here by Mighty Max, and the 4-on-3 post plane is going to ensue. And how much does aTTaX really want to put into this? They don't have that much money. And that flash is going to give Mighty Max a little bit of a chance here. Finds that op boosted up. That's a big kill. And yeah, the other two must just scurry away. A 5th round for Endpoint, a big lead being built, and a reset taking place for aTTaX. And you can definitely see they're going to suffer some severe repercussions because of it. Very likely 6-1 on the horizon here for Endpoint.
I'd like to see Endpoint chase these guns down. I mean, they have enough funds to justify doing it. And you must know that if you can take these guns away from Alternate, they are absolutely screwed. So you're seeing one player go in the form of Robin. Maybe he can take one of these guns away, which would be so huge for his teammates. He did just catch a glimpse of Stefan, but I think Stefan also saw him. So he's just going to hide behind the pillar, and they will manage to keep 2 guns alive. With Slax's just vast funds, they are going to be able to buy again.
We're going to see Mighty Max set up the same smoke he's been throwing time and time again from spawn. Kind of tossing them. I believe that lands over towards A ramps to give them a little bit of faster cover to push onto the scaffolding. But we actually do see aTTaX actually push through. It's going to be struck again with the FAMAS. This time he's good for 1, and there's not an immediate trade back. But as soon as I say that, of course, Robin is going to get him through the smoke. That is wild.
I think following the tracers maybe, or the sound cue, but that's a hell of a shot. One hell of a way to bring it back to even. Cressy now taking the same position that Slax was in the side area on A ramp. And there's going to be joined by an AWP. Molotov being tossed in. Lands on ramp. Endpoint seemingly more content to split up their attacks. This is what I like about the changes to Vertigo. It's no longer just an A-hit simulator, you know? Like, there's a lot more going on the map now on T sides.
Issue is, though, Cressy's getting aggressive on the A ramps and kind of cutting this off as an option, unless he somehow gets caught playing around the edge of this smoke, and someone takes a shot through it and happens to get lucky. Going to jump up here and actually start to back off as that smoke begins to fade. He knows that he's giving it a shot, doesn't want to overstay his welcome, and backs up to the A site, so it'll all kind of remain a stalemate for a bit. As Endpoint do slowly trudge their way up the A ramps here, and definitely looking to hit the site with only about 30 seconds left on the clock. The utility will start pouring in. aTTaX only had 2 members on the site to defend.
Yeah, this is definitely a rough look right now because they must know it's a full take. They're sending a 3rd player over, 18 seconds to go. Pop flashes starting to come in. Mighty Max, the timing. I actually believe that flashbang may have just saved his life from his teammate. It forced him to pull back. There's going to be a lot of damage done. Ooh, what the hell is that from Slax? Hello. Destroying all the icons. A wallbang through the smoke in the head. Get absolutely destroyed. 3-on-3. Multiple players have been injured. They're going to be limping. The wounding shots, maybe putting this into the realms of an Endpoint 6-1 lead. Because Steph with 1 bullet and he's a dead man. And it's delivered from Surreal's AK. He does get traded out straight afterwards from Slax, who goes for the white peak. He goes down alongside Nearbit. And aTTaX have been put down one more time.
Endpoint are dominating on this T side, Vince. I mean, they gave up the 1 round, but every other round they've won almost convincingly. So many rounds they've survived with 4 or more members. Of the 6 rounds they have on the board, 4 of the rounds they had at least 4 survive. So, been really dominant stuff here from the majority UK team. And Alternate aTTaX's money is once again a bit vulnerable in a couple of players, but still some there to buy with if they want to go all the way, which I imagine they'll certainly want to do as they're kind of getting dangerously behind on the scoreboard.
Oh, yeah.
Need to get some rounds soon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're in that point where, like, like typically when it's a close game or at the starts, like, the currency that matters is your dollars. And then at one point it gets to the stage where, you know, you're getting halfway through the first half or, like, quarter through the game, as it were. And especially if you're behind at this kind of stage, you're thinking, like, the currency that matters are rounds. How can we save or penny pinch or whatever to get ourselves as many rounds as possible? And, I mean, simply put right now for Alternate aTTaX, you're going through into the 8th round, and collectively your team has 12 kills. That really isn't good enough. Like, that has got to change right here, right now.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. How much they're getting out fragged here. Very punishing map if you can't find your footing, especially at the pace that Endpoint can bring to the game. Some missed incendiaries there on the A ramps. It's going to be kind of just wasted utility. They are looking to play aggressively here on the A ramps. They got that smoke down. They're going to re-smoke here in a second from Slacks. They're pouring some nades in there also. So they're looking to really take the fight to Endpoint. It's a good adjustment. The problem is Scrunk just gets caught out. He was stranded on the angle there. There were a couple players towards sandbags, but they don't really peek out in time. Now they're forced back with the Molotov. So another small battle won here for Endpoint. They did take a lot of damage to Mighty Max, but they do have the 5-on-4.
I feel like on maps like Vertigo, though, where there's a lot of strong rounds that come into play, being low HP is way more dangerous than a lot of the other maps where you can get kills clean. Look at this. Ooh. Look at this. Crucial. That shot onto Mirbit was huge. And now Stefan, he's still perched on B. He seems to think this could be a fake, but maybe he's also setting up to save his M4, to be fair to him. But, I mean, we've reached the meme for the first time. Well, actually, not the first time today. Endpoint did. They got the meme onto Tricked as well. And we know how that turned out, so maybe we're going to have history repeat itself.
You want another marathon map, Vince? Another 16-14?
I wouldn't mind it on Vertigo, to be honest, dude. I actually do enjoy casting this map with the changes. I feel like it's definitely improved, you know?
There's more options for sure. It's definitely a lot less like tunnel vision on one particular tactic. Like you said, A retake simulator, not as much anymore. Although we are seeing Endpoint definitely favoring these A ramps takes. Which I just feel like the A ramps takes get even easier for T's now because the CT has to focus more on middle. Like there has to be a proper amount of attention paid to it because of what opportunity it creates for T's if they get control. So.
Yeah, I think that's actually a fair point. But also the changes to the wall being less spammable definitely has an impact, but obviously you can still hit people through the wall, like, make no mistake. If your pre-fire spots are solid, you're still going to destroy people with headshots.
Right.
Alternate, though, 3 players over on A. Stacking together with their pistols and M4. How often we see buys like this end up working after a team goes heavily behind? I swear, there must be some, like, psychological reasons to why that happens.
I think most people just think that it's because the winning team just like gets at ease and takes their foot off the gas pedal a bit. And the other team is like feeling like they're getting crushed, they feel pressured, they go for a big play. Either way, utility damage is definitely being exchanged here over at the A bomb sites, and it's definitely favoring aTTaX at this point. But again, they do have the inferior firepower. And oh no, Cressy. He somehow gets out of there, but only just to be greeted with the T who is waiting for him there with the AK-47. And Scrunk has also fallen prey to the Endpoint onslaught.
Ooh, nice one, D. That's an AK that'll trade hands. Slacks going to be able to at least make them respect his presence and prowess on side. There's 2 and a third, and that's the bomb down as well. Slacks doing it all alone. Comes out into the open. Surreal nearly whiffs his opportunity and actually does take some damage for it, down to 41. This still should be a winnable round for Endpoint. But the timing on Stefan, the bomb is going to drop down. The smoke clears, and Slacks may have done it. He may have got aTTaX across the finish line for their second round. Molly is going to spread. Stefan wants to stay alive. He knows there's a flag coming in from Mirbit, and it will be a second round, and Slacks take a bow. That 3K inside was everything there for alternate aTTaX.
Absolutely massive stuff there. It was looking really good at the moment when Thomas and Robin got these 2 kills, but then Slacks with the Deeg just finds a way. Spacing just a bit off there from the T's, gave him the one-on-ones, and he definitely put it to good use. Big flank also came in, obviously, from Mirbit to be the insurance policy on the round. And now Slacks, using that momentum, gets the opening pick with the op here. Trying to find that third round, Vince. They want to close that gap on the score, but they don't want to let this game get out of control. They still could fight for that first seed if they can get a victory here.
Oh, they're going to fight until the bitter end, whatever happens. They need to be careful. They don't push into a trap. They don't push into a stack of players. A bomb has been dropped, though. And it's a huge moment.
Almost caught Surreal, too, on B stairs, sleeping a little bit. And now they have to redirect all their attention to grab this bomb back, and you can see that the Molotov has been extinguished by that smoke grenade. They're not really making any headway.
Yeah, some awkward moments in this round. They're going to be playing aggressively into a 3-player T-stack on the ramp one more time. Molotov forces them back. They're going to be worried about potential flanks coming in now as well from middle, because no one is mid from the T's. But here comes Surreal through the smoke onto Cressy. Flick from Slacks is good. He's going to be feeling it after that last round. Meerbit's up close. He's going to get baited into a freebie onto Surreal. The bomb's been spilled out again. That should be the round done. It's hard to see how Crucial gets anything done from this position. He's locked into the side. Time's against him. Is at least going to keep the economy honest on alternate attacks, but they are going to pick up their third.
Yeah, he'll force some rebuying, but it will be another victory to the aTTaX. It's going to be 2 in a row. Finally streaking together some rounds. Endpoint's wallets are finally being drained all the way, Vince. I mean, they can buy here, but after this, they would be saving. Well, this could be a big round for aTTaX. Could get them a 2-for-1 special if they're able to come up with victory here again. And this time, Stefan finds Surreal right away on the B stairs. That's a big loss to take already.
Wow, timing on that.
Broncos unchecked completely, Vince.
Oh, Jesus. Slacks has just destroyed Crucial through the smoke as well. Robin, 1-on-5. We've got the first beautiful flashbang. Beautiful round from alternate attacks, and it seems like, okay, they've woken up. They're here. They're switched on.
Yeah, things are starting to come together. That is for certain. Endpoint now finally just going to have to work with a lot less. A scout, some upgraded pistols. That's about it. It does feel like they just keep going A ramp still. They're not really exploring the map in any kind of way. They use mid like once. A little surprised.
Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe the alternate attacks have kind of read into that as well, Dust, and they assume there won't be another A hit because they actually only have one player here, and it is Skrunk. If they can overwhelm him quickly, it will be a bomb plant. In an awkward position, they've done just that. They've taken his head clean off his shoulders.
Oh,
now, of course, they don't have the benefit of seeing what we can. They don't know that there was no one else on the site, and now those rotations have come in, so they can start to play some mind games. But as you said, that is now a gun trading hands, and there is Kevlar behind it.
Yeah, but the more and more they wait, the more there's also a flanking opportunity. Like, Stefan could get behind them, and then they are just basically pinched into the A site where there's already 3 CTs waiting to defend. So I think that whatever edge they gain from that entry frag is gone. Unless they can catch this flank from Stefan. Like, that could really unlock things, and that's a big kill. That's for certain. But now they see 2 more on the ramp. Can they actually get away? No, the bomb has tumbled. They have to take these fights, but they're winning them, Vince, and now they have the 3-on-1.
Slacks at the back of the site with the AWP. That smoke's going to be up for a little while. Flashbang out, lands in the eyes of multiple players. 30 seconds left. Slacks, what do you have up your sleeve? He tried to go for the wall bang. Didn't work. Tagged down to 40. And he decides that he is going to be piecing out of there and trying to save the AWP. If he does save it, they will be able to buy again. And that is more important than a potential 1v3. However, Endpoint will pick up their 8th round.
Yeah, had a little bit of a lapse of success, but now back to winning ways are Endpoint to find the 8th. They even did it with a fairly low buy, and able to collect a free M4 for Thomas for the future. Just enjoying the bit of the scenery here on the A site as this bomb explodes, and Slack saves this AWP on the opposite side.
Terrorists win.
Right, so here come the buys, and yeah, it's in the back of my mind as well. You know, if I'm on an alternate attacks, I'm thinking, when did they hit mid?
Like, when do they do anything but A ramps?
Yeah, when do we see an aggressive B hit? Aggressive
Still playing 2019 Vertigo, Vince.
Exactly. It won't be this round.
Nope.
Okay, I can tell you that much.
A-Ramps, Vince. A-Ramp Simulator. All that joy and excitement of getting to see more variants in the map, and unfortunately for you, Vince, it's just not happened. Literally nothing has changed for Endpoint as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, that's supposed to be fair to Endpoint. You know, it's been working. You've got an 8-4 lead. If ain't broke, don't fix it. They did have a bit of a lull in the the rounds coming their way. Molotov down onto the ramp. That actually forces a couple players away. Now Skrunk is going to play aggressive behind that, trying to perforate the smoke, and nearly gets 2 kills. Mighty Max and Crucial both wrecked.
Yeah, Thomason lit up his teammate a little bit there, actually, through that smoke, unfortunately. So even more damage was dealt basically for free there if you're alternate attacks. And Cressy's literally on top of the box in A lobby. Surely now Endpoint can't go for A. Like, this has been stripped from them. They legitimately surely can't just be running their head up against the wall here again. Guys, there's other areas of the map. There literally is other spots you could go. Anywhere. I mean, I can't. This is madness. What is this? It's not as if the bomb is down. Jesus Christ. That's annoying, actually.
Well, now we know if Endpoint do win this, whoever comes on for the interview, like, so why did you hit A every single round? Why did you do that?
You do realize that there was this brilliant new addition to the B bomb side added at middle. You know, 2 more rounds to go.
Oh, hold on, Dust is happening.
Oh,
and absolutely wrecked by a grenade. That's why they don't come B.
The fog of war has been lifted, though, Vince. They've discovered this area. Don't tell me they're going to go back to A ramps, Vince. Don't do it to me.
I hope they do, just so I can hear the tilt in your voice.
No. Be attack, baby. I love it. Let's go. Get in there.
Molotovs, flashes, everything being tossed, alternate attacks. There is some decent counter utility being deployed, though. And now Thomas looking for that sweet entry. 2 spokes put, blotting out the sun on the oncoming CTs. They can't get anywhere close enough to stop the bomb from being planted, and now in the post plants. Even though the firepower is in favor of alternate attacks, even though they have more grenades collectively, can they flush out these angles? Can they successfully get back onto the B site for what feels like the first time in this game? The first entry is good. Oh, Stefan, 2 massive entries back to back, giving them a real hope and a real chance to get this done. Mighty Max now stepping up with 1, but it's not going to be enough. The bomb ticking away ever so quickly, but there will be enough time for the defuse. Alternate attack successfully bring up their 6th round.
Endpoint finally changing it up and even had a nice little amount of numbers left over after the post plant, but could not hold off that retake. You got to give your props to Stefan. He had a couple of big frags there to kind of unlock a route back into the round, and now 1 more to go. Endpoint will buy what they can, but it includes a couple of MAC 10s, to be fair. And, well, what do you know? They've went B, they've seen the potential of it, and they said, nah, let's go back to A.
I am very surprised we haven't seen them try and at least aggress middle a lot more.
Nope.
Even if it's just like 1 player out there to keep players interested, so A is a little bit more vulnerable. That is very surprising to me.
At least they have space to work A this time. You can see the CTs are a little bit more back this time, so they should be able to get their smokes down and get the plant. But there's so much utility that attack's been used for the retake, man. That's going to be the real problem. They haven't baited out any nades, really, from the CT side.
Grenade out, PT50 behind it. Slack's not landing anything, but the follow-up damage is there. Molly in, post plant coming up. Slacks has been in this very position multiple times. They must have a good idea that this could be a possibility. It is one of the most played positions on Vertigo on CT side. Skrunk, though, with his AWP, is going to break the deadlock, and Slacks goes in onto Thomas. 2v5 now on 3 kills in the blink of an eye. Crucial 1v2 has been plucked out from Mirbit, and alternate attack will be 7-8 behind. We have actually had the identical situation to Endpoint's last game come up again against Tricked. A 7-1 lead to 8-7 half. What the hell is going on?
I just feel like it was stubbornness this time, Vince. It's like, yeah, you got a 7-1 lead off of playing a very A-heavy T side. That's great. But eventually, your opponent makes an adjustment, and there was never one to boot from Endpoint. They never, tweaked back, so to speak. They had the 1 B play, and that was basically it. Which, by the way, they got the bomb down and had 5 players standing. They just didn't hold the post plant. So it's like it wasn't even a failed attempt as far as the execute was concerned. So yeah, a little bit surprising that they just seemed too set in their ways there. See if it comes back to haunt them or not as they switch sides. I see alternate attacks looking to maybe do something here at middle. Like that. Love that.
Love that Molotov. Little pixel on the floor, lines it up with the bucket, throws it into the ramp early on to deal with anyone up there. And now they're going to be looking to push behind. I can see the legs just protruding through the smoke, and Mearbit finishes off the kill onto Crucial. Down alternate come, and Surreal had no hope. He's turning around, trying to put the magazine in his gun, but dead before he could get it done, and Mearbit cleans it up nicely. Alternate attack. Second pistol goes their way, and now they have the advantage.
I'm rooting for alternate attacks already just because they didn't go A. I'm a fan.
There's still time yet, Dust.
Listen, I mean, you can go A sometimes. That's fine. I just, you know, the fact that mid got used was already gets me a little bit excited.
Seems like they are a little bit more feeling all their options out, and it's a freebie of a kill. No one watching side. I'm kind of surprised at that.
I think they eventually would have. It's just he was there way faster than they expected. All in all, though, still a great opening here for aTTaX to take a lead, perhaps. It'll be the first lead of the game. Oh, wait, no. I guess they had to lead at the end of the first half. Maintaining the lead. Wait. No, I was right the first time. Sorry.
He's absolutely mind-gamed himself.
I've been wrong a couple of times, and so I did mind game myself to think I was wrong again, because that's just natural for me to be wrong, but I was actually right. Hate to see that.
They could do so much damage on the head of Stefan, perfectly lined up. Smokes deployed to try and stop the re-engage. Endpoint 4v4. Don't have a kit, but do have plenty of deagles. They have a flashbang that's been tossed out as well. A couple of stray 1Ds. This gets interesting. There's one of them. Crucial tries to quickly wrap around towards the side. There is a player there, but now the smoke is cleared. Skrunk? Okay. I mean, it's not going to cost them the round, but it was a bit of a head scratcher.
There you have it, Vince. First lead of the game for the aTTaX. Fighting for that 1 seed.
This is the first time in this entire matchup where alternate attacks have actually been in the lead.
Yep.
And we are in round 18.
Yep.
Here comes the A-Rush. Plenty of grenades tossed out, but no one was peeking the ramp. They are anticipating that boost up, and Mighty Max gets tagged down to 70. CZ's up close.
And Endpoint are decently positioned to maybe pull something off these upgraded pistols, but unfortunately for them, the battles are just not breaking out their way. Great work from alternate attacks. They're just swarming this site, wasting no time getting in. Plant this bomb, perhaps, as Robin has been spotted, obviously, here in the corner. He'll be dealt with, and it's all on Surreal. Not even going to bother planting now. Just looking for the kill. Surreal to find the first defrag. Now the bomb will be put down. It should be cleaned up any moment. Should be a 10th coming up for aTTaX. Of the alternate nature.
I always wonder what's going on, like, you know, like a TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever voice program they use at times like this. Like, you've had such a vast lead. They're going to be calling a timeout after this, maybe to actually be discussing a few things. But, like, I'm always super curious, you know? Like, what is Mighty Max saying to the troops? Is he trying to rally them up? Is he, you know, even admitting they had a lead? Is that something that you just put to the back of your mind and pretend never happened? Like, I'm genuinely curious what they'd be talking about, because they must know that they have absolutely, I was actually going to say a word I can't say on stream, crapped the bed.
Yes.
Let's say that. They crapped the bed.
They did.
They went from 7-1 in the lead to 10-8 behind. Like, how do you justify that in your head?
You know why you're wondering all those things, which are very valid things to wonder about and are very relevant to the broadcast and the game at hand? I'm wondering, what is this thing in alternate aTTaX's logo? It's just like a weird eyeball. I thought it was maybe some kind of creature of some sort, but I can't pinpoint what it would be.
Let me have a look.
It's just a red eyeball. So if someone could explain to me what it is, I'd appreciate it.
It looks
Curious.
kind of like a bird to me.
Yeah, no, I kind of had that vibe too.
I don't know
But,
much about birds, so I couldn't tell you what kind it is.
The only red bird I know is a cardinal, so that would be the end of my guesses. Maybe someone from Alternate Attacks is listening and can shoot us a tweet.
Well, here we go.
Yeah.
If Mighty Max
Big
did
round.
have a inspirational speech, you know, like an Any Given Sunday kind of speech, inch by inch, that kind of thing, then now is the time to see it. That is a bang speech by Al Pacino, though.
Another good one for the Titans. But anyway, we are going to see Crucial getting a shot there with the op onto Skrunk. So Alternate Attacks with aTTaX being halted pretty early on here. And they're actually kind of second guessing it maybe just a little bit. Though Stefan is still trying to see if he can make some headway here up the ramp. Smoke's going to come up, though. Allows him to cross the sandbags area. But he's taking some damage along the way.
Crucial should never be getting two, and for just a moment I thought maybe it would whiff this chance. He's gone in, sees the head just round the corner, switches to the AWP, knows he can get that extra little pixel of information and maybe execute off it. Mighty Max in the meanwhile, though, has been called into action, and Stefan drills him down with the AK. Thomas, though, does return fire onto the oncoming mid-bit. That's going to open up side control a little bit. But all of this action, all this frenzy has happened in such a quick period of time. There's still 50 seconds left. They don't have to fully commit to this site if they don't want to, but it looks like they're going to do so with all the grenades that they possess. They have nothing left in the tank. Going to fake the bomb, try and draw out some of the oncoming CTs, spraying up through the smoke. Nothing to be done. And now Thomas comes up, uses every bullet, depletes the magazine and the HP bar of Slacks. And Surreal will clean up the rest. 10-9. Endpoint bring it back.
Yeah, big round to win if you're Endpoint, because it seemed like the momentum was starting to shift, like the tides were beginning to turn. As Alternate Attack still is going to maintain a one-round lead even after that, but you didn't want to let it spiral too much. So that was a big one to get if you're Endpoint. Money is quite low, though, on that team, so I have to be very careful. Same can be said for Alternate Attacks. This is a really big swing round here, considering the economy situations. It's real. He's absolutely banged out Cressy there through the smoke and some type of surface. Uh-oh, Vince, there might be some mid-control being taken here by the T side.
Yeah, I was about to say that, yeah.
I'm aroused.
Really savor sound. Really savor this.
You don't have to make that a naughty word. Like, it isn't just used for what you're thinking of.
Sorry, I'm the one with my mind in the gutter dust. My bad.
Yes. Yes. You are.
Correct. Smoke on to the B site. Alternate Attacks. They flirted with the idea, Dust. They did. They wanted to go middle. They desperately wanted it. And then,
But now they're going to go. Where are they going to go?
Evil Guy's Endpoint didn't let them push. So they have to fall back. And it's probably to A site. Oh, hold on. Oh, it might be B. It's going to be B.
Oh, man. I'm pumped. Aw, but Endpoint, they know. They're more than prepared for this. Utility is going to come in, slow that attack down even further. Plenty of people in a position on the side itself. I think it's just because they have Crucial so pushed in on A ramps. He knows they're not going there.
The site, how's the entry looking? Slacks does get the entry, but it's at great cost to his HP. He's down to 12. One bullet and he's dead, and that's going to be delivered from Robin. And the rest falls into place. So we're tied up again, 10-10. And the economy of Alternate Attacks not looking great.
No, not at all. Well, we talked about how that round was going to be very important, considering the economies of both teams, and fortunately, it's going to be attacked on the losing end of it. They still will get a Tech 9 buy up here, so still can be dangerous in a round like this with a quick attack if they can get the space early. It looks like they are wasting no time piling up to A-ramp, but this utility could do a lot of damage, and indeed it does. They are getting melted by the fire and shrapnel. So they do get a couple of injuries.
They're really not too bad considering just how badly they got eviscerated from those grenades, as you highlighted. Just the up and over grenades onto ramp, they got destroyed by them. So the fact that it is a 2v3, sure, it shouldn't be possible still. Although they are going to be given away a kill onto Thomas, who was trying to peer over the smoke.
Yeah.
And now Robin does have some support in the form of Surreal. 2v2 retake.
It seemed a bit premature to be going for that. Now it's going to be a little bit of a difficult 2-on-2, considering that Skrunk and Mirbit actually do have guns now with armor.
They do. Both of them are a little bit on the low side, though. The shot does connect, and there's the Tech-9 cleanup. Robin 1v2. Alternate attack really going to pull this round out? Yes, they are. With Tech-9 armor. They storm the site. They take the round.
That is a big victory for alternate attacks there. Getting the Tech-9s. Battling down from a 2v3 to win that as well. Now the Endpoint economy is just ribbons right now, man. They buy what they can here, but you can see a Deagle and a FAMAS are included. And if they lose, they're definitely having to save. Need this round, and crucial, he's definitely put a step in the right direction with that op shot. Again, they could reset attacks and put them right back onto a pistol buy, so a lot swings here on this round.
Oh yeah, this is a huge one. This is a fulcrum point moment in this game for sure. And I mean, Vertigo is one of those maps, you know, we talked about this on Inferno. It's quite easy to save. Like if you go down a couple players, you just pull back, you save real quick. Vertigo, nowhere near as easy to save. You'll get charged down so quickly. A lot of teams will commit fully to a bomb site. So this does feel like a 2-for-1 round, absolutely. Endpoint already depleting most of their grenades. They only have an incendiary and a smoke left now that Robin's tossed his out.
Yeah, they're gearing up for a B take, and I mean, they would be right. Again, Crucial has his 4 position on the catwalk. He doesn't really have that much vision, actually, on it, so he can't be confident enough to allow Monty Max to rotate just yet, who has to still watch ramps area. And there's one watching middle, and now one of the B defenders is down, so this is not a bad attack so far here for the alternate attacks. They're starting to make some real progress.
Oh, the timing was so unfortunate for Mirbit using the B ramp. Picked off in midair. All 3 players from Endpoint are here, and they know they don't have to rotate. There's only 15 seconds left in the round. It's going to be a bomb plant sooner rather than later that needs to come in. They'll be at the hands. Oh, the double taps from Steph, and they just run in. In the hands of Slacks, the bomb gets planted, and now Crucial 1v2 with an AWP at his hands. He's going to be put down by Stefan, and Stefan, my goodness, those kills were so huge.
Those were big-time frags from Stefan. You're absolutely correct, and I think it's just Endpoint thinking to themselves, okay, someone has to stick that plant, which means for that moment in time that he's planting the bomb, we have the man advantage here. Let's use it. And unfortunately for them, it just did not happen. Stefan just too accurate with the AK. Big-time shots from him. Really impressive. That could be a game-winning moment right there for aTTaX, considering Endpoint is on such low economy.
Oh, absolutely. This is putting Endpoint in the pits. And they really are going to have to stew, knowing they had a vast lead. They didn't mix it up. They didn't adapt. And they've been punished. Cressy, as ever, on point with his AK-47. He typically is the guy that's leading the charge. But honestly, everyone's pulling their weight right now in alternate attacks. There's not that much to distinguish between top and bottom in their team. WSP stack on the box.
Thought they might have a chance at Skrunk there for a moment. I mean, 2 USPs could do a little bit of damage at least, but now they're forced back, and kills are going the way of the attacks that you would expect in a round like this. Not much Endpoint can really say about it. So it should be a 13th round coming up here very soon. Monty Max trying his damnedest to put up some type of defense here, but little he can do. And it will indeed be another round going the way of the German side. So they are building up a nice little lead here. Money is getting real tight on Endpoint. They can full buy here, but if they lose, they're basically force buying for the rest of the game. Just to, you know, contend against attacks when they go for a map point and the victory. So if they lose this, Vince, it's pretty much over. Unless they pull off a miracle of pistols. Whoa!
Oh, that's such beautiful movement from Cressy. Oh my god.
Get absolutely wrecked, Surreal.
Yeah. There's not many maps where movement like that, like KZ sort of movement, is really that viable, but Cressy proving that on Vertigo, yes, absolutely practice it. He's on a Molotov, though. Needs to extinguish it. There's going to be a HG behind that. Robin should be able to deal with him momentarily. He's pushing up behind the smoke. You could see the ankle just below the smoke. He's going to betray Cressy. They're trying to hit on B again. Molotov underneath Robin. Flashbang. Forced back with his teammates. All clumped together now. Molotov below them. Down to 19 HP. And alternate attacks in a very good position, but out comes Robin. Aggression. Gonna be rewarded with the kill. He will reap at least one frag in the process. Flashes now being exchanged. Stefan in his eyes, who pulled off such a miracle play a couple times already. They're lining up, but he sprays down 3. 4K in the round, and Stefan is really beginning to get godlike.
Yeah, he is. Just absolutely back-to-back rounds for Stefan at this point, or back-to-back gun rounds at least. Obviously, they got kind of the freebie in the last round on pistols, but Stefan has been an absolute terror on this B-bomb site in the rifle rounds. As you can see, Endpoint coming into this, just a couple of MP9s and a couple of FAMAS. This is not looking good for Endpoint. Again, luckily they're through the playoffs no matter what, so that must be said. But what this is doing, it's opening the door for alternate attacks to maybe get first seed, because they will both have beat each other once, and they will both have, I believe, a 5-1 record.
Right,
so
yeah.
I'm not sure who would actually get first seed at that point. It's a tiebreaker at that time with rounds 1 or something like that, probably.
Yeah, I'm
so
pretty
again,
sure it's round difference.
Yeah, so I mean, again, the loss isn't that heavy because you're still on the playoffs, but it does mean a little bit of something. Maybe for pride as well, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it goes to round difference as well, if we're just kind of glossing over this round, which has gone horribly wrong against Endpoint, they did get a 16-3 win on Dust 2, so that's definitely a huge tick in that box. But then they choked a massive lead against Tricked in the last game. It was 16-14. So, I mean, these are the kind of games that can come back to haunt them in terms of first seed, assuming that Endpoint do concede this map from this point, which is looking more and more likely with every passing kill. Just Crucial remains 1v3. And I would be surprised if he pulls this one off. He may get the drop on the first player. There we go. Now his position is known. They can fall back to the site. They can just play together and set up a crossfire.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here for Crucial. He's trying to inch his way in, but yeah, just nothing sneaky about that, unfortunately, for him.
Yep, straight up bodied. And Endpoint now 5 match points to try and save. Alternate attacks. What was the score the first time these guys played? Was it like 16-11, 16-12?
You mean like
On
the last time they
Inferno, I
played?
think. Yeah, in Group A.
Oh, okay. Because they played each other a lot recently. But yeah, the time that you're talking about, yeah, it was 16-12 actually on Inferno for Endpoint.
Yes, I mean, this is looking quite good for alternate attacks in terms of the round difference.
Yeah. Thing to mention, like, they played each other in ESC Advanced a couple times as well, and Endpoint won one of the series 2-1, and Alternate Attacks won the other series 3-0. I think that was maybe the finals, the best of 5 or something like that. Or they had a 1-match advantage because it was the grand final, the best of 5. So yeah.
Well, alternate attacks taking some middle control, just trying to choke out as much utility from the CTs as possible. Going to be boosting up on the box just to peer over onto ramp, where Robin is trying to get up, and this could be at the cost of his life. This could be the beginning of the end, but he is going to survive, albeit on 32 HP.
Tense round here, Vince. Obviously, the match weighs on it. If Attacks can get the victory, Endpoint need to march 5 in a row to force extra rounds. And Attacks looking like they want to go B again. They've had a lot of success here, particularly Stefan. Multiple multi-frag rounds to close out on post plants. Might be looming in the back of Endpoint's minds here, as Mighty Max is trying to allow them to stack a little bit more heavily towards B side by being aggressive on the ramps, just kind of jiggle peeking it. Crucial does get first blood, Vince.
Here comes the flashes. Here comes the play. Could be the last one of this matchup, or perhaps not. Crucial is lining them up. Slacks comes back with an AWP frag. 8 seconds to go. Time itself is becoming a little bit of a nuisance. They have to stick the plant, and Slacks is going to have to watch his teammate. He can't get it done. At least they get a bomb plant, so they'll take the economy going forward. But Endpoint will live to fight another day. They can pick up some of these guns as well, so that's great news for them.
Absolutely. With their economy being in such disarray, picking up these weapons is crucial. No pun intended, to the man who gets the 3 kills and basically wins his team the round off of a Really solid B defense there. Great maneuvering around the spokes and getting some big picks. And aTTaX, they can still full buy here, but if they lose this, they would actually have to take a save. That's where Endpoint can maybe start closing some distance. So another big round here ahead of us.
Crucial. Very quick to get the first kill in the round. Good news for Endpoint. Lots of damage also inflicted with grenades. Meerbits feeling worse for wear. Taking some ramp presence, looking to potentially get into side. Smoke's also going to be deployed from both teams. A wall of smokes has been put down. That will be the ring where this fight will kick off. But it hasn't kicked off just yet. Seems like alternate attacks are getting cold feet about this, and maybe that's why they're not sure about these angles. Might be Max going to try and take the initiative, overextends, and is punished. They could still fall back, but the bomb's in an awkward position. They need to retrieve it first.
Now it's not to worry about getting flanked, right? Like, they're not 100% sure. And Cressy being this pushed up the catwalk, like, it's going to be so hard for them to kind of retreat him back through without him getting caught on the way out. But he will catch up Robin. And now this unlocks A once more, especially if he can find any more. This Molotov took the Crucial out of his... Thomas, though, good for a frag. Crucial, not letting the fire phase him. Finds one. Cressy at least able to get it back, but still a tough 1v2 ahead of him.
35 seconds, in no great rush to get the bomb down, but again, as you said, he's worried about potential flanks. I think at this stage he may realize that both players are over on this side of the bomb, though. He has no grenades, trying to fake the bomb to draw out the first player. Headshot in, has time to reload, still has a bit of time to play with. He can still fake this, he can still try and draw Surreal out into the open. It's a full plant. Now the pressure shimmies against Endpoint, but he peeks one too many times, and Surreal this time will not miss. Endpoint get a 12th. He's looking for an AWP, I'm pretty sure. There we go. He's found it. And there's the defuse going to be coming in. So 15-12 now the score.
Indeed. These bomb plants, though, are keeping alternate attacks in a position where they can still make purchases instead of having to take a save. So that's kind of good news for them that they get to put their best foot forward almost every single time these next few rounds. And again, they just need to punch one more in. I mean, they just came off of a 5-round winning streak not that long ago, plus the 3-0 start on the half. Endpoint's never won more than 2 rounds in a row. So, if history repeats itself, aTTaX should still be winning this map in regulation, but Endpoint, they are not going away quietly into the night.
Certainly not. They are showing backbone, showing a spine. But is it going to be broken down by alternate attacks? Because one mistake... one lapse in judgment, one lapse in communication. Remember, these players have been playing now for most of the day. Yep. This is where mental fatigue comes in. One mistake could cost them everything.
Absolutely correct here. Mighty Max getting aggressive here at the sandbags. Does find Skrunk's dome and is able to retreat as well. No real response being gained by aTTaX. Now they have a trade out at B, but still a man ahead is going to be Endpoint. They want to take this bomb over to B. Stephan's getting a lot of headway, and Stephan has been the man on this site, Vince. Time and time again. That's 2 kills again for him, this time for entry work, but the response from Endpoint has been swift.
Yeah, it has been swift and administered directly into the face of alternate attacks. There's another one. This time it's on Slacks, and he's not going to survive for too long. Endpoint continue to press forward, and the economy of alternate attacks in no great shape to go for a force. We may be going the full 30 rounds at the very least.
I do think so, Vince. It does seem like that is of the highest probability. You know what else is a high probability at this point is extra rounds, the way this has been playing out. Endpoint have really found their stride. This should be a freebie. Should being the key word. There are a couple of pesky pistols out there that could wreak some havoc. They're going to go for mid this time, which, again, has been a rarity.
Yeah, they will just get butchered, though, if they push middle. There's a good crossfire that's been established by a couple players. Actually, I think they have just drawn off one of those players from middle.
Right.
I think it may have been Crucial that went from mid towards side instead. But now they have 2 again. It's Robin and Thomas.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
No. No, surely not. Surely not Endpoint, not against Tech 9s and a Deagle. What is happening? It's a 4v2. They've picked up some of these guns. They still don't have Kevlar on everybody, but they have Kevlar on one of the M4s. Mighty Max and Crucial are now going to try and traipse through these smokes. They've done so much damage, so much work to get back into a position where it was actually doable. This could take us to overtime, but it's all going down to Mighty Max. He's got 2 more players to deal with, switching guns so he has more ammunition at his disposal, but the smoke's not really going to help him out. He's going to get peeked, and it's going to come down to this, and Mirbit puts him out of his misery and puts Endpoint down permanently.